First thing, I want to know where I can get one of those jerseys. Those things are awesome. So we pray, good and gracious God, we thank you for the many blessings of this beautiful weekend, and we ask you to kindly bless these Hall of Fame inductees today and each and every day. We ask you to guide them, to protect them, and to give them an abundance of your peace, joy, and love. We thank you and thank them for their service and excellence on the playing fields, on the ice rinks, in the swimming pool, on the tennis courts, and on the basketball court. May they continue to be blessed with all your goodness and graciousness. We ask you to also bless all of our student athletes, both past and present, coaches, trainers, administrators, and all who support our Bonaventure athletic program. May the spirit of St. Bonaventure, St. Clair, St. Francis, and all the Franciscans continue to shine on from the classroom, out onto the playing fields, and well beyond. And may each of us continue to know the abundance of your infinite and unconditional love each and every day. We humbly ask all these things as we ask all things in your most holy name. Amen. Go Bonas. Let's go.
You can clap for a prayer. Go ahead. And now to start our ceremony, please welcome Barb Cuesta.
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, everyone. It's so great to be here today. Events like a Hall of Fame induction are one of the things that makes working in college athletics really enjoyable. Being able to watch former student athletes and coaches come back to campus, perhaps for the first time since they've been away or graduated or retired, and share with their family and friends the wonderful accomplishments from their younger days. It truly highlights the impact of how sports can shape the foundation of a person. So much is learned through sports, even though at times many athletes and coaches don't truly realize how their lives are impacted. Whether competing or coaching, one learns the value of sportsmanship, teamwork, self-sacrifice, commitment, pain, winning, and unfortunately even losing. I had the privilege of watching Michael, Steph, Naveen, and Rob compete during their time here as student athletes. I remember their impact in the competition venues as well as on their teammates, and watching them grow to be strong, independent, confident graduates who are now spread throughout the world. And though Peter and Jim came before me, learning about their accomplishments during the selection process has been a pleasure. Nominated by the passionate words of former players and teammates, we learned about how both of them impacted their sport through their actions. Each one of our inductees left a unique and individual mark on their sport, which is still felt here today. A Hall of Fame represents the best of the best, and it's an honor that stays with you. Wherever in the world your life continues to take you, you'll always have a special place back here at Bonas. Your name and accomplishments will be forever ingrained in the brown and white, alongside the words, Hall of Famer. Congratulations to each of you on this very special honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. And now, our first inductee. A native of Poland, he spent 2 years at St. Bonaventure after transferring from Monroe Community College and left an indelible mark on the Bonnie swim program. He captured 11 medals in the Atlantic 10 Championships, 6 gold and 5 silver, and was key to the team winning the 2006 A10 Championship as a senior. He turned in what longtime head coach Sean McNamee described as the best and toughest night of competition he has ever witnessed, leading a huge swing that helped the Bonnies secure the 2006 team title. That year, he was the A10 champion in the 200 freestyle and also won gold in the 400 medley relay. In the final race of the meet, the Bonnies led by a mere 1 point over UMass when he teamed with Alex Minoy, Roman Margulis, and Patrick Dorwet to win the 400 free relay and secure the conference crown. He also won silver in the 100 free and 200 butterfly that year and was part of the second place 200 free relay. His junior year, the Bonnies took second place in the Atlantic 10 title, and when he took the individual title in the 200 free, while also winning gold in the 200 free relay and the 400 medley relay. He also won silver in the 200 fly and 400 free relay in his first year with the program. A standout in the classroom as well, he was named to the Atlantic 10 All-Academic Team in 2006. Today, he resides in Goldau, Switzerland, where he works as a trader and manager. He and his wife, Magdalena, have 2 children, Maximilian and Matilda. The first member of the Hall of Fame class of 2024 is Michal Bogacki.
Good morning, everyone. I prepared a small speech, 20 pages. Hopefully it will go smoothly. Sorry. I'm honored to be here today, being inducted into St. Bonaventure Hall of Fame. I want to congratulate, first of all the other inductees and thank the committee for choosing me to become part of this school's history. It's amazing to be sharing this moment with all of you and with my wife. Sorry. And my kids. You have no idea how much it means to me. Okay, I promised myself yesterday I'm not going to cry. Well, that's why I brought this. Like I said, I'll try to keep it short and not cry, so sorry. There's many things I would like to say and many people I would like to thank, but let me start at the beginning. Nothing good in life comes easy. You have to work hard for it. It was the lesson my parents taught me at My friends offered me a beer earlier. I refused. I figured I was going to make it through without it. Now I know it was a mistake. Anyway, let me try to keep it together. Nothing good in life comes easy. You have to work hard for it. It was the lesson that my parents passed on to me. Growing up in Poland when I was young, during communism was not easy. The whole country was struggling. Inflation, unemployment, it was crazy. Anyway, sorry. Despite this miserable situation, I saw my parents get up every day, work hard, take risks, in hopes that one day it will pay off. And standing here today, I'm proud to say, I guess it did. It was because of my parents that I started swimming when I was 8. It was also because of them I came to the States when I was 17. I can tell you when I started I was terrible. It took me 3 tries to pass the first swimming course. True story. Anyway, so I came to the States when I was 17. I ended up in Hutchinson, Kansas, and many of you may not know where it is. I had no idea where it was. I learned fast where it was, but I still, to this day, I don't know why I ended up there. But I believe everything happens for a reason. In Kansas, I was welcomed by my host family, Daryl, Jan, and their daughter, Hillary, who I hope are watching, so hi. They made me feel at home. They took me to all the swim meets across the state, and yeah, I was one of their own. I finished my senior year in Kansas, and I wanted to stay in the States and try to swim for a D1 program, but unfortunately, NCAA clearinghouse had different ideas, so I had to go and finish at Monroe Community College before I was able to transfer to a D1 school. And finally, in 2006, 2004, I was able to come to St. Bonaventure and become part of this fantastic school and become part of this family. It was actually at MCC that I learned first of St. Bonaventure as one of my oldest friends, who I'm happy to say is here in the audience today, Adrian. He came here in 2002, and he was saying all the good things about the school, so I wanted to become part of it as well. Fortunately for me, Coach McNamee was, let's say, I gained his interest, in 2004, again, I was able to join this fantastic family. Coach McNamee believed in me enough that, he offered me a scholarship to attend this school. And honestly, it was one of the best decisions of my life, and I had the privilege to represent this university and swim for the Bonnies. Coach McNamee, he was a bit tough, but he made sure we trained hard, that we stay focused, we studied hard. And it's a true story, and we were mentioning this yesterday, our grade point average was always higher when we were in swim season than outside swim season. He was the father figure that we all needed, that, was yelling at us from time to time, and he wanted to make sure that, we behaved like an adults. My teammates, who soon became my brothers, made sure we stay focused and motivated. And believe me, when you wake up at 4:30 every morning to jump into a cold swimming pool, you need all the motivation in the world to do it. It was because of the unwavering support of the people around us, always pushing, always supporting, always believing, that we were able to win the A10 conference championships my senior year. And it was the greatest ending to my swimming career that I could ever imagine. The 2 years I spent in St. Bonaventures were unforgettable. From the time in the pool, the fantastic meals in the hickey, full day of classes with the best professors, the long sleeping sessions in the library, study sessions. Those were the moments I will cherish forever. The first time, I'm not sure you got the message, but I'm going to repeat it. Nothing good in life comes easy. You have to work hard for it. As I mentioned, this was the message that my parents also passed on to me, and this is the message that I want to pass on to my kids. Max, Matti, work hard, believe in yourselves. Fall, get up, try again. Believe that at the end it will be worth it. Okay, I'm almost finished, guys. I would like to make a few thank yous, and first of all, I would like to thank my parents, Anna and Jerzy, and my brother. They were my first supporters. Thank you, guys. To my second family in Kansas, thank you. To my coaches over the years, Grażyna, Jan Barucha, Kathy Field, Tim Dandebois, Coach Fisk, I'm not sure if he's here, and most importantly, Coach McNamee, thank you. To my friends sitting here, to my teammates, to the administrators, especially Barb, thank you. To all the professors, all the people that supported me over the years, thank you very much. This would not have been possible without you all. Let's go Bonnies.
Congratulations again, Michael. I speak a little bit of Polish. I married into a Polish family, so for those heartfelt remarks, dziękuję. Thank you. Our second inductee suited up for the Bonnies men's soccer team from 1980 to 1983, and today still remains one of the top offensive producers in program history. He graduated as the Bonnies' all-time leading scorer and currently remains third in program history with 74 total points, a total that ranks behind only two of his former teammates, Brad Wolf and Joe Treybold, who are both Hall of Famers. His 34 goals also rank third in school history. In his junior season, 1982, he helped the Bonnies to the program record 12 wins, a mark that still stands today. That year, he found the back of the net 14 times, 4 of them game winners. The Syracuse native led the team in scoring in 3 of his seasons, 1980, 1981, and 1983, during one of the soccer program's most successful eras. During his 4-year career, the Bonnies registered 32 wins, highlighted by a 12-6 campaign in 1982 and a 9-8-1 finish in his senior season, 1983. In 1982, Bona got off to an 11-1 start, still the best in program history. He was a team captain, hailed as a skillful, unselfish player who was a leader on and off the field while a student athlete. What makes today extra special is that he and his classmates are celebrating their 40th class reunion. He now resides in Burnt Hills, New York, and is the managing partner of Barrett Associates, a government relations firm in Albany, New York. He and his wife, Teresa, a 1983 Bona grad, have 4 children, Patrick, Nora, Rose, and Cormac. The second member of the Hall of Fame class of 2024 is Peter Carr.
Morning. Thank you, Kevin, for that introduction. Thank you to the administrators who are here today to help us celebrate this important day. I want to thank the members of the selection committee who saw something in my achievements on the soccer field to approve my nomination. I want to especially thank Randy Agnes, a friend and teammate, who was the spearheader of efforts to nominate me in the first place. And I want to congratulate my fellow inductees for their notable achievements as well. I'm truly humbled to be here today to receive this distinct honor. This day wouldn't be possible without the help of many others, family members, friends, teachers, and teammates. I would like to begin by thanking my parents, Peter and Rosemary, and my siblings, Missy, Tim, Meg, and Katie. My father and my sister Missy are no longer with us, but my mom and sister Katie and her husband Kevin are here today to help me celebrate. My sister Meg and brother Tim hopefully are watching the live stream at this point. My parents gave me and my siblings unconditional love and encouragement in all aspects of our lives. When it came to sports, there was nothing my parents wouldn't let me try. Baseball, basketball, golf, tennis, and of course soccer. They were a constant presence at my games, giving me encouragement no matter what the score or the eventual outcome. One example of their encouragement came one day when my father, who was a contractor, showed up at home with the makings of a soccer goal. With a number of lengths of steel pipe and a used safety net that had been discarded from a job site, we constructed the goal in a field behind our house. This is where I spent endless hours practicing during high school. I hadn't asked him to do this, but he saw how dedicated to the sport I was. And he took it upon himself to make it happen. That was the kind of person my father was. I'd also like to thank my siblings for their love and support over the years. We were all lucky to grow up in a close, tight-knit Irish Catholic family. The days that brought us joy and laughter far outweigh the days that didn't, and that continues to be the case today. When I was a young boy growing up in the suburbs of Syracuse, playing organized soccer wasn't available. There were no rec leagues, there were no travel teams. Soccer fields didn't dot the landscape like they do now. I was introduced to the game by my older cousins, Tommy and Javier Keogh. My cousins grew up south of the American border in South America, Uruguay, Venezuela, Mexico, where the dominant sport was soccer. And one summer they came to live with us for 6 months, and they brought their soccer ball. They taught me how to play. They taught me juggling tricks. We played in the outfield of a ball field that I used to play Little League baseball at. They were the ones that introduced me to the game that I loved. Fast forward through high school, I had a pretty successful career, but I really wanted to play college-level soccer, but I really didn't know where I was going to attend college. One day after Sunday Mass, I ran into the associate pastor at church, and he was asking me what my plans were, and I didn't know. So he said, I think you'd like to go to the place where I went to college, a place called St. Bonaventure. I had never heard of St. Bonaventure. He organized a trip for me to visit with a friend that he had known from Bishop Ludden High School, where my sisters had gone to school. I went down from Syracuse, spent a night with Kevin Mahar. When I landed on campus, I knew right away that I would be there for the next 4 years. I arrived on campus in August of 1980 for soccer tryouts. I met there a number of other freshmen who would become my fast friends for the next 4 years. I met Coach Barrera. He introduced me to Dick Gelati, who was the trainer. I also came to know that Dick Gelati was a retired drill sergeant, which came into play quite often during practice. The beginning of the season, we played rival Canisius. We lost to them 3-1. The next game was going to be Niagara, another rival. Coach brought us into the locker room, and he started to name the starting lineup. And unbeknownst to me, my name was on the list. He called my name out. I was amazed. I couldn't believe that I was going to be a starter as a freshman. I think my freshman teammates were as excited about it as I was. We tied against Niagara that day, but from then on, until I was, a senior, I started every game. I have many fond memories of the seasons I played at St. Bonnie's, but the most rewarding was the 1982 season where we were 12-6. The 82 team consisted of 12 returning juniors, which made up most of the starting lineup. Aldo Faga, a senior and co-captain with me, anchored the defense. Brian Davis anchored the midfield. And we had a freshman who played a critical part in our success from Buffalo, a striker and a future Hall of Famer, Brad Wolf, also on the team. We were nearly perfect for 12 games, 11-1. I had never played on a team that had won so many games. We thought there was potential to go to the NCAA tournament, but that wasn't going to happen. We finished the last 6 games, 1 win and 5 losses, 3 of which were in overtime. It was a heartbreaking finish, but it still was just a fantastic campaign that we had. While soccer was a big part of my college experience here, I wouldn't be giving St. Bonaventure its due without speaking to the larger influence this university had on me. This is where I grew up, from a timid high schooler to a confident young adult. The academic, social, and spiritual experiences I enjoyed here gave me clarity about what I wanted to do with my life and how to live that life with compassion and respect for others. The Franciscan traditions that are central to this university's mission, charity, benevolence, and selflessness, were instilled in me throughout my 4 years here, and I try to apply those traditions in all aspects of my life today. I'd like to express my thanks and appreciation to all my teammates over the years. There are too many to name, but a few I'd like to mention here now. I want to especially thank my housemates, John Crilly, Brian Davis, E.J. Pilecchia, and Rick Stockmaster, for being great teammates and even greater friends. I'd also like to thank my friend Denise Ramond for all her work with the team. At home and away games, Denise worked the scorers table and kept the team's stats, among other things, and was one of our most enthusiastic supporters. There are 3 particular individuals who played important roles in both my soccer career and my growth as an individual that I'd like to briefly mention. First is Coach Barrera. Enrique Barrera took a chance on me when he started me in that Niagara game. I'd like to think I didn't disappoint him. Coach Barrera was a quiet and gentle man, never giving in to barking instructions from the sidelines. His thoughtful encouragement and guidance brought out the best in me and my teammates. Second was our trainer, Dick Gelati. We were all afraid of Dick Gelati. I think he knew we didn't have the skills necessary to be an elite team. So what we lacked in skills, we made up with stamina, determination, and perseverance. He drove us to work hard every day. Third is Father Bob Stewart. Father Bob was my theology professor, who took a special interest in my development as a student and as a human being. He counseled me when it came to my studies and became a good friend outside the classroom. When he became a member of the Board of Trustees at Siena College, he would call me when he came to Albany. I would drive out to Siena. We'd go for a run, or go to lunch, or just talk about where we were in our lives. He was one of my biggest fans, and his presence is sorely missed. Lastly, I want to thank my family. I'm joined here today by my wife and 1983 alum Teresa, and our 4 children, Patrick and his fiancée Kate, my daughters Nora and Rose, and my son Cormac, our youngest. And I think Patrick would agree with me when we say that Cormac was the best soccer player in the family. Thank you for making the trip to share this moment with me. I love you guys. And thank you all again for this honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Peter, and congratulations again. So our third inductee first left her mark on the Bonnies women's basketball program record books. She joined the Bonnies after being named New York State Player of the Year in 2001 at Odessa Montour High School and made an immediate splash on campus. She averaged over 11 points per contest as a freshman and was crowned the Atlantic 10 Rookie of the Year. A major knee injury in the preseason of her sophomore year set her back a whole season, but she returned more determined. Coming off that knee injury, she was superb, ranking 3rd nationally in three-point percentage while averaging 16 points per game. She was not only her team's top scorer, but also its best defender and main ball handler. After the season, she was named to the A-10 All-Conference team, a spot she would claim again the following year when she averaged nearly 14 points per game. Today, her name is seen throughout the program record books. She stands 12th in career scoring with 1,421 points, 3rd in three-pointers with 288, 7th in free throw percentage, and 10th in steals. Her 73 games in double figures scoring is 9th in Bonus history. And her 36-point performance in a 2003 game at Stony Brook also tied for 3rd in school history. Following her college days, she joined an elite list of Bonnies to qualify for Olympic competition. She played in the 2012 London Olympic Games with Great Britain, following the heritage of her mother Janet, who was from England. She ultimately played more games for Great Britain national squad than any other player in history, and helped the team earn a 4th-place finish at the 2019 European Championships. Her remarkable pro career stretched over 15 years. She then moved into the coaching ranks, and today she is the head coach for the Cardiff Met Archers, a team she also played for. She has also served as head coach for England's U17 team. The 3rd member of the Hall of Fame class of 2024 is Stefanie Collins.
Good morning. Like Michael, you may see some tears, so apologies in advance. Firstly, it is with great honor and privilege that I stand here today. I am grateful to be recognized alongside the amazing athletes who have come before me, and I am truly humbled by the incredible honor. First and foremost, I want to express my gratitude to the selection committee for considering me for this remarkable achievement. To my coaches, which, by the way, I am so happy to see Coach Crowley back at Bonaventure, where he belongs. To my teammates, yes, we give a clap for that. To my teammates, supporters, great to see Sharon in the crowd, okay, obviously, big fan. Supporters throughout my career, thank you for believing in me and pushing me to be the best athlete I could be. Your unwavering support and dedication have been instrumental in my journey, and I am forever grateful for the memories and lessons we shared together. It is even more special as I have two of my teammates here today, Dre and MP, to join the celebrations, which reminds me of how sport unites us with everlasting friendships, something you never take for granted. To my family, words cannot express the depth of my appreciation for your endless love and encouragement. You have been my rock through every triumph and challenge, and I am continually grateful for all your support, even while I'm thousands of miles away. It was an incredible privilege to represent Bonaventure both on and off the court. I am forever grateful for the opportunities the university provided me. It's a place that holds a special place in my heart and forged the beginnings of my professional playing career, which, as mentioned, continued for 15 years, and I'm even further blessed to be involved in the sport now as a coach. Lastly, I accept this induction with immediate gratitude and humility, knowing that it is a testament to the collective effort and support of so many individuals who have supported me over my journey. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Go Bonnies.
Thank you, Stefanie. Congratulations once again. Our next inductee is a groundbreaker in that he will become the first men's hockey inductee into the St. Bonaventure Athletics Hall of Fame. A longtime and now retired political science professor here at St. Bonaventure, his efforts provided the framework for Bona's success on the ice during the 1980s. He was instrumental during the construction of the varsity hockey program, which played at the NCAA Division III level from 1981 to 1993. He took over as faculty moderator for the program in 1980 when it was in club status, guiding the team to an international collegiate hockey league title. And that set the stage for a jump to the varsity level the following year. During the 1980s, hockey was the most successful program on campus. His teams won 4 straight ICHL championships from 1982 through 1986. When he retired in 1986, he left with a career record of 102, 57, and 6, far and away the best record for any Bonaventure hockey coach. He also left with 5 titles. And during the playoffs, his team had a remarkable 11-1 record. In 1983, Bona posted a 17-10-2 record on the way to its ICHL crown and improved to 18-9 the following season while winning the conference regular season and tournament championships. In 1985, Bonas won 20 games to finish with a 20-10 record en route to another ICHL championship. In 1986, which was his final season as head coach, the Bonnies skated to a mark of 16-9-1 to win the ICHL regular season and playoff championship once again. There is no doubt the success of the hockey team in this era remains an important part of the athletics department history, and we are proud to recognize that today. The 4th member of the Hall of Fame class of 2024 is Dr. Jim Moor.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate this, especially the committee for recognizing me. I have to be the oldest inductee in the history of the university. But it's been a wonderful ride, a wonderful part of my life. I have to mention some names to you that go back to history. I know Dick Gelati was mentioned already as a trainer, and he helped us a lot as well. Not the easiest man to get a hold of, but at any rate, I have lost a number of players over the years, and I would like to mention their names. Joel Gingras, was one, and his brother is here, Jonathan, who played for me. Right? We have, let me think now. Right? We have, Andy Norkin, right? Passed away, right? Jack, yeah, right? Passed away as well, right? So I've lost a number of players, right? I'd also like to mention, which was mentioned before, I'd like to mention sort of the way the hockey program developed was the way sort of that the athletic department developed as well, right? So right, I have to mention Leo Keenan, who was a faculty member in the English department, and his son is here, who coached golf, right? We have to mention Pat Panzarella, who was the English department professor who coached tennis. Ricky Barrera's name was mentioned here, who was also a member of the modern language department, right? Fred Handler was a member of the physical education department that coached baseball. So there's a whole foundation that I think that was touched on, that the current athletics department was built on those professors that actually spent a lot of their time coaching. As far as I'm concerned, I got into it as two students came to my office, and apparently whoever, it was a club status, and according to qualify for any money from student development, you had to have some faculty member, some member of the administration, right, sign on some document, right? And so they came to me, right, and I didn't know them, right? And they said, why don't you sign this document? I said, well, wait a minute, I'll think about that. So they came back the next day, and I'm sorry, Greg Wood, who's also passed away, I'm sorry, and Chuck Marquardt as well. Those were the two, right? And I remember Greg Wood put this document in front of me, and he pointed to where I should sign it. He said, just sign it here. And I said, I signed it, and he just left. He said, I got the signature, and that was it, right? But they ran into, I'm not necessarily competitive, but when I get into something, I get competitive. And so the program grew from there. But I inherited players as well. Two of them are here. Steve Hurtubise is here, and Steve Bessaker is here, who played prior to my coaching. But it became a work of a group. I think most teams are, and I had not a lot of experience in hockey. I went to a couple camps, hockey camps, run by Division I coaches, et cetera. Learned along the way, and I think the whole team was on a learning curve with me. And I think they didn't say anything to me, but I think they encouraged me as well as my encouraging them. And I think it all came together that way, which I'm sure a lot of successful teams feel the same way. But without being too old-fashioned, there's a bonding that goes on a team, and we were able to achieve that. And I would for sure say that it wasn't me, right? It was the combination of us, right, that made the program successful. And I got to know really nicely what hockey players actually are, which is a lot of misconceptions in some sense. I know what people are thinking. They're beer drinking, rough kind of a group. But frankly, I kept the grade point average of the team, and we were consistently higher than the university. I had any number of hotel managers come up to me on Sunday morning as we were leaving saying, you can stay in this hotel anytime you want, et cetera. And I learned also that hockey players are quite empathetic. They were very nice to my family. My boys are here today. They were very young at the time, and they took time out to talk to them and talk to my wife, et cetera. Around Christmas time, they would talk about presents they were giving, et cetera. And that was a whole image of hockey and hockey players that I think a lot of the public doesn't appreciate. There is, of course, I don't want to create any cognitive dissonance here, right? but there is times when they do act like hockey players, I'll admit. I could tell probably 14 stories, but maybe I'll just leave it at one, and that will relieve you of your cognitive dissonance. There was one time only that I was not on the bus, and that was because my sons skied competitively. And we were playing either Canisius or Buffalo or Buff State up in Buffalo, and so my wife drove a car following the bus, right? And so we had to leave early on Saturday morning to a skiing competition somewhere in central New York or eastern New York, wherever we were going. So the bus came back down 219 here, the interstate, without the coach. Well, I called Tom Morrissey, who was sitting here. He was captain. Yeah, there he is. I don't know if you remember this, Tom, but I do. And I called him in. I called him in on Monday morning, and it said, "Tom," I said, "how was the bus?" "Coach, that was one cooked bus." I said, "Oh, okay." And I understand, but they had all cleaned it up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we had both serious times, we had very emotional times, as teams do, and we had some good times. But I want to thank again the committee for sure, right? The Franciscans were very supportive of hockey, still are. Father Dave Blake is here somewhere, who's still involved in hockey after all these years. The hockey program now, as you may know, we have two teams. I guess we'd call an A team and a B team. It's a very popular program on campus. And so, like myself, like Leo Keenan, Pat Panzarella, Ricky Barrera, Fred Handler, right? We all started way back then, and it's developed into something that's really great. And I thank my players, I thank my family, and I thank the committee for their support. And considering myself, and there must have been historians on the committee, given my age, but thank you so much.
Nice, Prof. Congratulations. These guys look like they're ready to come over the boards for you right now. Our next inductee put together one of the finest career in Bonnie's men's tennis history, producing a career winning percentage of better than 75%. He was the team's #1 player for the entirety of his career, beginning in 1991, when he played all but one match at the top spot in both singles and doubles. He went 15-6 in singles play that year, while posting a doubles record of 11-3, teaming with Drew Govinder, a Hall of Fame inductee himself. As a freshman, he qualified for the ITA Rolex Invitational in both singles and doubles, something he would go on to do his entire career. That season, the Bonnies finished 5th in the Atlantic 10, their best standing to that point. SBU never had a losing record during his career. He was the key to Bonnie's improvement, even as it saw better competition when it first scheduled all Division I opponents in 1992-93. The Bonnies would produce an 11-3 team record that year, and he went 12-2 in singles and 9-2 in doubles. Bonnie did not lose a set in the first 27 matches of the year, while he put on a dominating fall with a 36-game winning streak. In 1993-94, he again was superb, going 14-5 in singles and 14-5 in doubles. His Bonnies went 16-3 that year, setting a team record for wins, and won 53 of 54 possible points during an undefeated fall, ultimately finishing 5th in the A10 once more. In the fall of 1994, before his graduation, he would also become the first SBU player in 6 years to win at the ITA Rolex Invitational. His squad went a perfect 7-0 in his final season as a collegiate student athlete. A South African native who overcame injustices of apartheid in his home nation, he also was named to the Atlantic 10 All-Academic Team. He now resides in Syracuse with his wife Maria and sons Noah and Matthew. He is tennis director and managing partner of Elevate Fitness. The 5th member of the Hall of Fame class of 2024 is Naveen Singh.
Hello, everyone. This is not part of my speech, but it was just honored to hear what everyone has been saying already, and it's been an amazing experience for us as student athletes to be part of this amazing amazing university, St. Bonaventure. I want to thank my wife, Maria, my sons, Matthew and Noah, my sister-in-law, Anne, brother-in-law, Neil, my nephew, Nick, cousin, Polly, my two friends, Pat and Chris Buff, who I wasn't expecting to drive up from Syracuse today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for your consistent support. The first time I won the national championship in South Africa, I was 15 years old. I won the first set 6-0 and was up 5-0 in the second set. I had a big lead and was about to close out the match, and I started to feel prideful. I was thinking that I would go back to my hometown and make it known that I was the national junior champion. During the match, I prayed that God would let me win the match. As these prideful thoughts raced through my mind, I had an encounter with God. I started losing game after game. Within a few moments, the score was tied at 5-5 in the second set. At 5-5, I promised God that if He would let me win, I would be humble for the rest of my life. I ended up winning the match. Thank you. Because of my determination to live with humility, it is difficult to be recognized sometimes and to be inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame today. Matthew, thank you for working so hard to make this happen. I cannot express how much it blesses me that you wanted to see me honored in this way. I'm so proud to call you and Noah my sons. Because of the complications of apartheid as a non-white, I had to leave South Africa to pursue my dream of playing tennis against the best college players in the world. After hitting a dead end in the US, I was introduced to a man, Joe DeVoli. After looking at my tennis album and press cuttings on the night he met me, Mr. DeVoli told me he believed I could earn a tennis scholarship and attend college for free in the US. Since it was so late in the process, all the tennis scholarships were already awarded to other student athletes. My tennis coach, Dr. Pat Panzarella, went to the St. Bonaventure president at that time, our late father, Neil O'Connell, who awarded me a 4-year full presidential scholarship. It included room and board and textbooks. I would have had to decline if it was anything less, since I was not able to afford to pay for anything out of pocket. St. Bonaventure gave me the opportunity to live out my dream of playing against some of the best college players in the world. In my sophomore year, while on our tennis spring break trip to Hawaii, I learned that my ailing father had passed away in South Africa. I had just won against the 30th ranked player in the nation. I was obviously happy, but all I could think about at that time was getting back to my family in South Africa. I was devastated about my father. I also had to face the possibility of not being able to return to St. Bonaventure after the funeral. When I returned from Hawaii to St. Bonaventure, I learned that the St. Bonaventure community, including Dave DeVoli, the son of the man who helped me get to St. Bonaventure, had raised the funds for me to return. When I first arrived at St. Bonaventure, I was very far from home and very far from everything familiar and comfortable. I did not even have a proper winter jacket until a friend in my dorm room gave me one. My South African friend and doubles partner on our tennis team, Thiru Govender spoke to Coach Pat Panzarella about recruiting me and was always supportive to me. My friend and teammate, Bill Colby, took me to a Bills football game, a Chicago Bulls preseason basketball game, and looked out for me always. The St. Bonaventure community was always there for me. I want to thank my coach, Dr. Pat Panzarella, the late Father O'Neill, my teammates, Steve Mast, the nominating committee, the athletic department, and St. Bonaventure University for all you have done for me and for electing me to the St. Bonaventure Athletic Hall of Fame. I also want to congratulate my fellow inductees, and it is an honor for me to be part of this group. Finally, I want to give thanks to Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. I want to give him all the glory, honor, and praise. I'm so thankful to my late dad, who found Jesus and accepted Christ into his life. After exploring Christianity on my own, I could not escape the reality of the love of Christ. I'm reminded of my dad's favorite scripture verse, Galatians 6:9. Do not be weary in well-doing, for in due season you will reap if you faint not. God has used the St. Bonaventure community to bless me and care for me. I am thankful to God for placing amazing people in my life at strategic times. God is good, and I encourage you all to make Jesus Christ the foundation of your life. God bless you all, and thank you.
Congratulations, Naveen. Thank you for sharing your story, which is truly a Bonaventure story. And now on to our final inductee, who produced a career both as a student athlete and now as a professional that puts him in rare company in Bona soccer history. A 4-year starting goalkeeper, he was key to one of the best stretches in program history. He was in the net for 3 seasons of 10 or more wins, including a 25, 18, and 1 mark in Atlantic 10 play. From 1997 to 1999, his Bonnies went 32, 22, and 1 overall, including 22 and 11 in conference matches. In his freshman season, 1996, he recorded 100 saves and appeared ready for a breakout campaign in 1997 before an injury derailed his season. He returned in 1998 and logged a school record 8 shutouts with a 1.60 goals against average. He also recorded a clean sheet for one of the program's best ever victories, scoring a 1-0 win at North Carolina in 1998. In his senior season of 1999, the Bonnies posted their best record as an Atlantic 10 program, going 8-3 in conference play, a school record that still stands. During the 1999 campaign, he was named A10 Player of the Week twice and also earned a spot on the 1999 A10 Championship All-Tournament team, as well as the All-Academic team. He graduated as the school's leader in goals against average at 1.71, a mark that stands second today. He ranks third in career wins as well. He went on to a professional coaching career that has taken him to the highest levels of the sport. He got his coaching start at the University of Pennsylvania and then helped Maryland to 2 national titles. He joined the pro ranks with the Philadelphia Union of the MLS. He was an assistant coach there before becoming technical director. In 2015, he moved to New York City FC for its inaugural season and helped build a championship-level program as an assistant coach. In 2021, NYCFC captured the first MLS Cup crown in team history. He has also worked as a goalkeeper coach and scout for the U.S. men's national U15 and U23 teams and continues to work on the NYCFC coaching staff. He and his wife and fellow Bona grad Jess reside in Ridgewood, New Jersey with their children Carter and Grayson. The final member of the Hall of Fame class of 2024 is Rob Vartughian.
First off, thank you to the committee for this recognition. I've spent my entire life in sport, and I've always been driven by competing and winning. And it's really humbling when people recognize the things you've done as worthy of something like this. So thank you for that, and congratulations to everybody. This is a really special place to me. There's a sense of community and love and a bond that is quite difficult to explain to people not from here, but I'm sure everybody sitting in here has had their stories of run-ins that are very different than when you've spent time at other universities. I've been fortunate to be at other universities since leaving here, and what I realize is it's different, it's unique, and you can run into people on a street in the middle of nowhere and have an instant relationship and conversation that just feels different. Steve's call about today led me down a real road of reflection of my own journey, and my entire life traces back to here. Because of the community, because of the relationships, because of the lessons at such a pivotal time in my life. I'm thankful to my parents, my mom and my late father, who taught me the two most important lessons in life: hard work and loyalty. Both were immigrants, both struggled, but both made sacrifices to make sure we had the opportunities that would ultimately lead to these opportunities. I wish my father was here right now, sitting there to be able to see and hear this, because I know he'd be the first person to say, I told you so. It was his choice for me to come here. It wasn't mine. That's the truth. And it ended up being the greatest decision of my life. I came back from, at that time, you'd do 5 official visits. I came back, I made my list. This was 5. And what he saw was something in the coach I came to play for that said, this is where you're going. And as you realize as you get older, he was right. I know how proud he'd be. He passed away my sophomore year, just at the end of our season. And I remember leaving pretty quickly, and I didn't return until the second semester. And when I came back, you don't know what the new way forward is. You're a younger person and you're trying to figure it out. And what I realized the true beauty of this place is when I came back, I wasn't student 474. I was a human who needed a real lift. And Miss Lehman, Mr. McAllister, the late Father Bob, Mr. Haran, Mr. Mahar were pivotal for me at that point in my life, because the things that you do, you are this place. You are the spirit of this place. You don't even realize it. You probably haven't been told of it, but you're the reason why we all go out and brag about this place, because you create that bond and you create that love, and you let us go back out and give it to others and speak about it in the way we do. I can't thank you enough. You don't really understand those things until you're a parent and you grow and you realize that. So thank you. To my teammates, the guys that came here, Jamie, Chipper, I think Flippy's here. There he is. I didn't steal your jacket, Flippy. Schmitty and I have been together since we played, since we're probably 5 years old. Our lives are intertwined forever. It's not surprising that how many of us are still involved in the game today that came here. We had a competitive fire and desire to win that was different. I remember going into Butler Gym and hammering down nails and trying to get a run just to train, and we got after it pretty consistently. The teams that we were a part of had a culture that pushed everyone to their best, and Bob scheduled us knowing the bigger picture, not necessarily what we were capable of when we got here, but what we'd be capable of when we left. So we walked in and played Wisconsin, defending national champions that year, our freshman year. And we had other opponents that were better than us, and we got, I can't curse, we lost. And we lost, but we learned very difficult lessons. And by the time we were older and had grown in this culture, we would ultimately go on to more successful seasons, but then winning games away like North Carolina. And at that point, while people were surprised, nobody inside our dressing room was surprised, because that just became the expectation, and that just became the standard. And that was so much due to the culture that you created, Bob. You built a culture of excellence, and in that process, you became one of the most important people in my life. We would come together and say, discipline. Do what has to be done when it needs to be done as well as it can be done. You do it that way all the time. And we lived that. That was in our dressing room. That is in your dressing room today. As I saw it when we were down in your school when I was visiting with you. That lives in my life and every coaching conversation I'm in. It is a cornerstone of my being with my family, with my kids, with every player I come across. And I understood that as an individual. I didn't fully get that as a collective, and you gave us that. You taught us what that had to look like and why that was important to win. You're the reason I got into coaching, because I wanted to have the same impact on others that you had on me. You are my first phone call on every success, on every failure, on every decision, both professional and personal. You took a chance on me that set me on a path that I could have never imagined. And I get to do what I do for my career, for my love and my job because of you. And I don't know how you ever repay that. And I don't think thank you is enough. And I've thought about it a lot. And my only way of trying to say thank you is just paying it forward. And I'm really intentional now about the younger people that I coach and that I come across, making sure I open those same doors in the same way that you did for me. Because without that, my life would probably look very, very different. So I love you and thank you. And to my wife, Jess, I know you don't want me to say this, but I literally owe my life to this place, and I can trace it all back. In 1997, just behind us, you were dropped off for preseason, hugging a payphone, crying homesick, and we had the good fortune of starting a couple days early. It was the first time I saw you, and a week later was the first time we got to spend time together. We went and sat out in the grotto just behind there, and on the very first night that we sat together, I told you I was going to marry you. That's true Bonaventure spirit. For your patience, for your tolerance, and for your sacrifice. The life that we chose, that I've chosen, that you've chosen to be on this journey with me is not easy. We've had multiple homes. We've been in multiple states. We've got multiple pressures that sometimes we don't need. But you are our rock, and it is impossible to function without you for these two as well. So thank you for everything you've been. I love you, and thank you again for allowing us to come back to this place. Thank you.
That's magnificent. Thank you very much, Rob. And how about a round of applause for all 6 of our inductees? It's now my privilege to introduce the president of St. Bonaventure University, Dr. Jeff Gingrich.
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, everyone. Wow, that was pretty impactful. This is one of the, I said earlier this morning, one of my favorite things about this weekend is hearing stories of our alumni, and these have been some of the most powerful stories that I've heard all weekend. It reminds me, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to these stories, and I'm thinking about how powerful the stories of sport are. And we all know how important athletics is to St. Bonaventure. In sports, these stories about sports are about wins and losses, and that's, I mean, you could hear the competitive spirit in these talks, but there, as you can also hear, it's about more than that. It's about overcoming odds. It's about the transformation of the human spirit. It's about family. It's about love. It's about community, and it's about all these things. And those are the stories of sport. But it's even more so powerful, the stories of St. Bonaventure athletics and sports. So thank you for sharing your stories. Congratulations again. I'm glad I'm not on this committee who has to recommend our awardees here, because there are a lot of really incredible student athletes that have come before you, and you rose to the top for all the reasons we heard today. But mostly I want to thank you. I want to thank you for representing St. Bonaventure during your time here as student athletes or as coaching and faculty, for modeling the excellence and grace that we want to portray in our Franciscan education. I think of this every time our student athletes get on a bus or head out there, that they are representing St. Bonaventure University. I want to thank you all for doing that in such a profound way. But thank you just as much for representing St. Bonaventure in your lives since you've left the university. This is kind of the ultimate round. It's after you graduate. It's after you go out into the world. It's kind of like that last round of tryouts or the championship game, you know, that you've worked up to. And each of you are true champions in this regard and in every way, what you've done since you've left St. Bonaventure and modeling our values through that. So again, congratulations. Congratulations to the family, to the friends, and a big thank you to the family and the friends who got these wonderful people to this place. This has just been a wonderful, inspirational time of reminding us how important Bonnie's athletics is to us. So thank you all. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Dr. Gingrich. And now to close our ceremony, please welcome once again Barb Cuesta.
Great. It is my honor and privilege to conclude this induction of Hall of Fame class. Inductees, would you please rise? It is my honor as Interim Director of Athletics to now officially welcome all of you, Michael, Peter, Steph, Jim, Naveen, and Rob, into the St. Bonaventure University Athletics Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
We have just a few housekeeping items before we close. We're asking all of the Hall of Famers to remain on the stage for a few photos. Family and friends, you're also welcome to take advantage of this time for a photo op if you'd like. We will have a reception with some refreshments out in the atrium, and all are welcome to join the Hall of Famers for that. So this concludes the 45th induction ceremony into the St. Bonaventure University Athletic Hall of Fame. Thanks for joining us. Have a great reunion weekend, and go Bonas!